You're sitting there replaying that moment over and over, the no, the silence, the way they looked through you like you were invisible, and you're wondering what's wrong with you, what makes you so easy to discard, so forgettable, so unworthy. Stop, right there. If this feels like I'm reading your mind, hit that subscribe button and let me know in the comments what rejection hurt you the most. I read every single comment, and your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. Because here's what nobody tells you about rejection. It's not a judgment on your worth. It's information. Cold, sometimes brutal information that you're trying to fit into spaces that were never meant for you. You think rejection is about you being not enough, not attractive enough, not successful enough, not interesting enough, not funny enough, not thin enough, not tall enough, not accomplished enough. But rejection isn't about your deficiency. It's about incompatibility. It's about timing. It's about the other person's capacity, their wounds, their fears, their limitations that have absolutely nothing to do with you. And I know this hurts to hear because you've been carrying this weight for so long. You've been collecting rejections like evidence against yourself, building a case that you're somehow fundamentally flawed, that there's something inherently wrong with you that everyone else can see, but you can't fix. But what if I told you that every rejection you've ever received has been protecting you from something worse? What if I told you that the people who rejected you weren't qualified to recognize your value in the first place? Nathaniel Branden spent his entire career studying self-esteem, and he discovered something profound. We suffer in rejection not because we're inadequate, but because we've built our sense of self on external validation. We've handed our worth to strangers and asked them to hold it carefully. Then we're shocked when they drop it. Think about it. You gave your power to someone who didn't even know you. You let someone who barely understood your depth decide whether you were worthy of love, attention, or respect. You allowed someone who was probably dealing with their own insecurities and traumas to become the judge of your value. Listen to me carefully. Your worth isn't determined by who chooses you. Your worth isn't a democracy where everyone gets a vote. Your worth is an absolute truth that exists whether anyone recognizes it or not. It's not contingent on someone else's ability to see it, appreciate it, or want it. But why does it hurt so much? Because rejection triggers what psychologists call our attachment system. John Bowlby discovered that humans are wired for connection from birth. When we're rejected, our nervous system interprets it as a threat to survival. Your brain can't tell the difference between being rejected by a romantic interest and being abandoned by your tribe in ancient times. Both feel like death. So that pain you're feeling? It's not weakness. It's not you being dramatic. It's not you being too sensitive. It's your humanity. It's your nervous system trying to protect you from what it perceives as mortal danger. Your body is responding to rejection the same way it would respond to a physical threat because, evolutionarily speaking, social rejection was a death sentence. But here's where it gets interesting. Alfred Adler talked about something called individual psychology, the idea that we're all striving for significance and belonging. Sometimes we chase the wrong people, the wrong situations, because we're trying to prove something to ourselves. We're trying to heal old wounds through new people. We're trying to get validation from sources that could never give us what we truly need. You're not just seeking love, you're seeking healing. You're not just wanting acceptance, you're wanting to prove that you're not the unwanted child, the overlooked teenager, the person who always felt like they were on the outside looking in. You're trying to rewrite your story through someone else's approval. And that person who rejected you, they might have saved you from months or years of trying to convince someone of your worth. They might have freed you from settling for someone who couldn't see your value. They might have redirected you towards something infinitely better. They might have spared you from the exhaustion of shrinking yourself to fit into someone else's limited perception of who you should be. Because let me tell you something about the people who reject you quickly, who dismiss you easily, who don't see your value. They're not your people. They're not operating on your frequency. They're not capable of recognizing what you have to offer. And that's not a reflection of your inadequacy. That's a reflection of their capacity, their awareness, their ability to see beyond their own limitations. Carl Rogers taught us about unconditional positive regard. The idea that we all deserve to be valued for who we are, not what we do or how we perform. But first, we have to give that to ourselves. We have to stop auditioning for love and start embodying it. We have to stop performing for acceptance and start accepting ourselves. You don't need to be chosen to be worthy. You don't need to be picked to be valuable. You don't need to be selected to be enough. You already are all of these things. The rejection didn't change that. It just revealed who has the capacity to recognize it and who doesn't. I want you to try something different. Instead of asking, why did they reject me? Ask, what is this rejection protecting me from? Instead of, what's wrong with me? Ask, what's this teaching me about my patterns, my choices, my tendency to seek validation from sources that can't give me what I need? Maybe it's teaching you that you've been giving your power away. Maybe it's showing you that you've been seeking validation in places that could never fill the void. Maybe it's revealing that you've been trying to heal childhood wounds through adult relationships. Maybe it's redirecting you towards someone who will see your worth without you having to prove it, perform for it, or diminish yourself to earn it. The people who are meant to be in your life won't make you question your value. They won't make you smaller to make them comfortable. They won't require you to audition for their affection. They won't make you feel like you're too much or not enough. They won't leave you wondering where you stand or whether you matter. And the ones who reject you, they're not your people. They're not your tribe. They're not your person. And that's not a reflection of your inadequacy. It's a reflection of incompatibility. It's a reflection of different values, different priorities, different levels of emotional availability, different capacities for depth and connection. So stop chasing people who don't chase you back. Stop pursuing connections that require you to dim your light. Stop trying to convince people of your worth when the right people will see it immediately. Stop accepting crumbs from people who should be offering you the whole meal. Your rejection is not your rejection. It's your redirection. It's life saying, not this but something better. It's the universe clearing the path for what you actually deserve. It's protection disguised as pain. You are not too much. You are not too little. You are not too sensitive, too intense, too needy, too demanding. You are not too anything. You are exactly who you need to be, and the right people will recognize that without you having to prove it, perform for it, or apologize for it. The rejection hurt because you cared, because you're human, because you're brave enough to put yourself out there, because you're willing to risk your heart for the possibility of connection. Don't let that pain make you smaller. Don't let it make you more cautious about sharing your heart. Let it make you wiser. Let it make you more selective. Let it make you more protective of the beautiful heart you carry. Stop collecting rejections as evidence against yourself. Start seeing them as evidence that you're brave enough to try, human enough to hope, and worthy enough to keep believing that the right person will recognize your value. You don't need their yes to validate your worth. You never did. Your worth was established long before they showed up, and it remains unchanged long after they leave.